あなたが考えます。
Hello and good evening one and all to what is round 3 of the oNiD and QRT Multiclass Team Cup 2024 here on oNiD Racing. Happy Sunday everyone, I hope we're doing alright, I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and indeed I hope you have been excited for tonight's 90-minute race at Donington Park. Alongside me in the comms booth for this 90-minute race this evening is the wonderful Tom Tozen. Good evening, Tom. Yeah, as am I. It's going to be a good night. Donington Park is notorious for its weather, and I can report, folks, we have rain. Copious amounts of it. So you can just about, as everyone is going to take to the track, and indeed they will. Oh, wet qualifying. I'm not sure about the race. We'll see how that goes. As we do wait for this. The duty free's out first. Who knows? Sorry, just trying to multitask a little bit for my wonderful co-commentator. He is just having some mic issues. I think we now got you, Tom. Can you hear us?
Yes.
There you are.
If you didn't pick that up, I think it'll be a 1:27 lap time, 0.3. Probably maybe a little bit quicker because that's the times the AMs are setting here. But actually saying that, this is wet weather conditions, so this will most likely be slower than the AMs were. So we'll have to wait and see what the lap times are. As we see Andy King going round to set his first flying lap time. He's now going to come down the crane of curves, and he's looking all right there. Maybe a little bit of a wiggle at the front end, but he's looking somewhat stable as he goes through his first flying lap time, trying to avoid the curbs at the bottom of the hill, because in these wet weather conditions, it's so easy to spin off into that inside tire wall, where you've seen it on crash compilations all over the internet here to do with Donington Park.
Indeed you have. It's a bit of a trap going into that corner, especially in the wet, and I think most of the circuit here in the wet is rather challenging. You've seen the Ferrari stepping out a little bit as it goes through down to the back straight. And forgive me, it is my stomping ground. I'm going to be there this weekend coming for the trucks, but I cannot remember the corner names for the life of me.
Well, we're just going through the S's now, and then we'll be heading down towards the Melbourne hairpin as it go past the McLaren advertisement. at the bottom of the hill here. You've got, I think it's Radical were there now, and empty building, which just has, I think, one of the Donington Park offices there, as you can see in the background. It used to be the home to Formula E and Rodin at one stage, but both teams have moved out, of Formula E being replaced by Radical. But now as we come up towards the start finish line, and it's 1.6 seconds off the fastest time, Gregory Ivanov going very, very well here. 1 minute 31.765. And well, this could be his second pole position of the season if he can just hold on. But not too far behind is Matt Hyman. Well, Matt High, I don't know why I had the man. Only 0.005 off of the pole position time, stepping up the Ferrari 123, and so does David Grains there in the F&M Honda NSX. He goes into third position. Current championship leader is down in third, off by 0.265 from the pole time, but still they have enough time in this session to, well, try and carve their way ahead of Gregory Ivanov, but we'll have to wait and see what David Grains can do to respond, and if Matt High can respond.
Absolutely. Nothing splitting these guys as of yet. They are back on laps again. We will go back to Gregory Ivanov. Going to try and make up for what was quite a torrid race last time out at Zolder, if you do remember correctly. Getting caught up in a start incident on the first couple of laps and not really able to recover from there on out. He's got Donington Park to avenge his horrible finish last week. Comes to the line. Does improve, 131.007 dead. However, Kurbanov gets back into there. The 1-2 Lucas Oil Racing Esports team at the moment, as Matt High has been shuffled back down the order, now 0.7 of a second behind.
Yeah, but we saw this last week, Aiden, as well. These guys were 1-2 and their race completely fell apart with David Grains ultimately becoming the winner of that race, with Elmar Kurbanov being the highest finisher of the Lukoil Racing Esports Ferraris in second position. So these guys will want to respond this week after two poor rounds for each of the drivers, and they're doing that so far. Both of them, as we've said, in a 1-2 position, with David Grains following closely behind, and not much further back is Matt High.
Absolutely. We'll stick with Kurbanov because he's on a purple sector at the minute, coming up to one more corner to go. And it may be the first man into the 130s. Wet conditions here, and looks like it'll be remaining wet for the whole of qualifying, and Kurbanov does go to pole position, 130.7, and probably pulls off to the right, thinking, nope, that's it, I'm going to stop on the grass, I can't go any faster for now, I'm going to go back to the pits, I'm going to have another crack at it.
But the thing is as well, probably the driver in the best position is Gregory Ivanov, because even though he had a bad round last week, it means he hasn't got the success pit timer with him, because obviously David Grains will have 20 seconds, Elmar Kurbanov will have 10, and Matt High will have 5 seconds added to their pit times. So Gregory Ivanov in a decent position compared to the drivers around him so far, starting on the front row of the field. Anyway, we're with Matt High, the Fry Guys Motorsports with oNiD car, comes across the line and moves up ahead of David Grains in the F&M car to go third position. Is still over half a second off of our fastest lap time set by our Ferraris. Anyway, Chris Martin, we know he's a very quick driver. We saw him in the oNiD X QRT Multi-Class Showdown, and he won the final round, but it was so we'll have to wait and see if his pace can translate here to Donington Park, as he now comes out the final corner. It does, up to 5th position, only 0.775 off the pole time, and not too far back from Mount High. So this could be a good weekend for PS UK Esports.
Absolutely, back up there as Chris, and he is usually quite up there in terms of pace, and these tricky conditions really seem to be favouring him as it stands. P5 with about 7 tenths of a second to find. No one else really improving with 2 minutes to go. You have got a couple of people on. That's a jump down the order a little bit as we go to John Lloyd, and that's commentator's curse right there.
That is the definition of commentator's curse.
It is indeed. Sorry, John. As he does return back to the pits, someone who is improving, the other PS UK Esports driver, Andy King, is about 0.6 of a second up on his time. He's going to come around to the final turn. He sees a checkered flag, not a checkered flag, he sees the finish line ahead of him. should I say, and goes up to 6 slots behind his teammate Chris Martin.
Well, this is a very, very strong weekend for PS UK Esports. Both of them, well, yeah, right with his teammates. So good to be grouped together. And apart from the other two Ferraris, they're probably the two highest team drivers together in the field. Anyway, Matt High now goes up to second position. He's only 0.2, I think 3.5 off of the fastest lap time. So he split the both of the Lukoil Esports cars. So it's a Fry Guys. He's in the middle of the sandwich. It's the Fry Guys Motorsports driver of Matt High, and let's see if he can improve to get out of that sandwich and into first position.
We shall see. Indeed, splits the two Ferraris. Teammates the teammates now are no longer 1-2, and I think, just looking at the times, Gregory's just started a lap with 40 seconds to go. Kurbanov is on a lap, going through McLean's, and then goes up this very much blind right-hander. It's very tricky. If you can just about miss if you do just miss the apex, you can end up running wide onto the grass and just losing so much time. Doesn't do that. Manages to keep it on the track. Goes down to the S's, which then lead him down to Melbourne hairpin. He is still purple, only marginally, so he's finding time. Most notably though, Matt High behind him, not finding time, staying very much dead set on the time he's already set. He has come to the line, he just crossed the line, I think, with just about enough time on the clock. I do apologise, it's half hour, isn't it? So it's another 5 minutes of qualifying for these guys. I do stand corrected. Most notably, in 10 minutes time, the rain will stop.
Does that mean... No. I was going to say, does that mean we could see GT4s slipping into the GT3 times? But I don't know. I couldn't find any research to say what the GT4s were like. I don't think we've actually done a GT4 league on this circuit yet. I could be mistaken, but from my research, I haven't found any evidence of lap times we've done around here in the past in GT4s. So that could be interesting. Anyway, Grigory Ivanov comes across the line, and he's so close to his teammate. He's now into second position, but only 0.070 off of his teammate. Both of these Lukoil Racing Esports drivers, there's nothing to separate them at the moment. They are so close together, both into the 1 minute 30s. And they are absolutely flying at the moment, as they have done all season. It's just been the consistency in the races that we need to see if it does translate this time.
No, absolutely. Good luck from him, and I'm sure his teammate will be eager to respond. He is at the minute purple. Gregory on a lap is going purple as well, so they are trading sector times. Matt High has just started another lap. Not enough data yet to say whether he is up on his time. We'll await for a couple more mini sectors to go through the lap, but it is an improvement by a 10th for Kurbanov up into pole, or not up into pole, retaining pole position.
Something else I just want to quickly point out as well is Matt High and Christian Buckley, the Fry Guys Motorsport MK team, both of them on the second row of the grid, so a really strong session of pair of them ahead of David Grains and Formato in the FNM cars, which is really good for their team's championship. They're currently in second in that championship, so this is where they are now, is a really solid position to be in as we head into the race.
Yep, absolutely. So, just looking up and down my timing screens, no one is improving. We are sticking with Kurbanov because he is on a faster lap. Let's jump on board with him.
Oh,
what happened there?
What a lovely field. I mean, that's a lovely view of the grass.
That was very random.
Yeah.
How quite peculiar.
Yes.
We are back with him. I think it was just a slight glitch in a connection somewhere. The Matrix might have just briefly unplugged. And also got to say thank you to everyone in chat. I have been seeing the messages. Ben22 saying the GT3s in the wets is still faster than GT4s in the dry, so we don't need to worry about that. And And Matt Holman as well. My PC is dead. Gutted.
Oh,
Looking forward to tonight. I will send us an invite for its funeral, I dare say. I'm sure, I hope it gets repaired. I hope to see you back soon, good sir. As we have about one and a bit minutes after the first half of qualifying for the GT3s. Christian Buckley back up and challenging the two Ferraris there, making it a split between a Ferrari 1 and 2. It's a Ferrari 1-3 at the minute. He's got traffic up ahead of him now, so he might be hampered on this lap, and it will be his, quite possibly his last flying lap. He's got McLaren of F&M. I can't figure out which one it is. One of the McLarens, of course, but oh, that's awkward.
that's very awkward.
Oh, he's only got 30 seconds left. I think that's it for him. I don't think he's going to get another chance to improve, is Christian.
But I mean, it's not, as long as someone else improves around the circuit, not a bad place to be in anyway. We follow Elmar Kurbanov around the final corner. Let's see, can he extend his pole position margin? He comes up towards the start-finish line now. You can see some yellow flags there in the background, I believe, at Coppits. Anyway, he comes across the line and...
Does improve.
Yes, does improve. So it's a 1 minute 30.267. Is now 0.228 on the pole position time. Anyway, David Grains, he needs to respond now. Currently has team championship rivals ahead of him on the circuit of Fry Guys Motorsports. Needs to try and separate the pair of them so they don't get a decent point total ahead of him here, with his teammate just behind in 6th position as well. So let's see what he can do. He's coming out of the Melbourne hairpin now. Only has one corner to go at Goddard's. And let's see if he can improve. He's on the brakes now, into the braking zone. Gets the car turned in. This looks nicely set up by David Grains. And he comes up towards the start-finish line. Can David Grains improve? He comes across the line now.
He doesn't.
No.
As we just follow Petr Genelak, I think he's going to improve. He does. Gets up to 5th place as Petr Genelak for oNiD Racing Stronger. And that, folks, is all of your GT3 qualifying done and dusted. Kurbanov, Buckley, Ivanov, the top 3 for GT3. And we now shift our attention to the GT4 class. Quarter of an hour GT4 qualifying now to follow in a drying track. These guys are going to have to get used to potentially having a bit of a damp dry. The condition officially is damp as it stands. It is still raining. We might get a greasy track. Closing moments of the qualifying session.
So that's the thing. It's going to be a session you can't take your eyes off, because the track's just going to be forever improving as the timer goes on. So it's really going to be interesting to see who's on the right part of the circuit at the right time to set the best lap time. So I just want to go back on with the GT3 session. It was important that Matt High qualified ahead of David Grains as well, because only 21 points separates the pair of them in the championship. So this is a good opportunity for him to close that gap down. Anyway, Daniel Tomlinson starts us off on our first flying laps, and let's see what he can do as we ride on board.
Yeah, let's have a bit of fun. Let's ride on board with some of these drivers and just see how difficult the conditions are actually for them. So they go down the corner curves. Gets it turned into old hairpin well. Through this very fast section here, up the hill braking of the cleans. Oh, used a lot of curb. Oh, that's a moment. Ooh. Saves it. Handles that blind right hand. I can't remember if it's Coppis, I do believe. Down the back straight to the chicane. Takes a suitable amount of curb, but then next big braking zone will be for the Melbourne hairpin, as they have the gigantic Heineken can right on the inside of the corner. That's a complete 180. Goes back in the opposite direction as to once they came. On the brakes for a final turn. Again, blind entry, blind apex. He gets it turned in the first lap for the GT4 class is going to be 138.5. Who's going to beat that? We will see if anyone does. There's a couple of cars coming to the line now. Shahibi goes not too far away. Swinkles in third. Car 22, Ben Brown gets into third and pips Sherlock and Swinkles. No one challenging Tomlinson's time at the minute, so he's just laid down the gauntlet there for them.
I mean, looking on board with that lap time, it looks like a pretty stable and decent lap. Obviously, he had that moment at McLean's, but apart from that, it looks all pretty stable. So nice to see Ginetta running up there. It reminds me of the Ginetta GT4 Super Cup, so that's very nice to watch that on board. Anyway, Martin Thorpe comes across the line. It's only 1.8, well, it is 1.8 seconds off of the pole time, so he'll want to improve from there as the current team championship leaders. Thompson only goes behind him, and Prescott is 4 seconds back in 8th position. Johnny Ashley still in the pit lane. Thiago Hoffmans, who has pole positions in this series as well, is in 10th, and I believe he's had back-to-back pole positions in this series, so we'll have to see what he can do. And yeah, we've still got around about 4 cars to set a lap time in this session. Anyway, Alex Shahabi only 0.078 seconds off of the fastest lap time set by Daniel Tomlinson. Tomlinson's in the pit lane, so won't be improving on his lap time. So we'll have to, and well, with an improving circuit, I can imagine that Alex Shahabi will probably have a decent chance of trying to beat this lap time as he now exits the final corner, comes out towards the start finish line.
He invalidated his lap.
Did he?
He did, right on the exit. The game picks up for track limits.
Oh.
He was going purple by about 7/10 of a second.
But he still moved up ahead of Daniel Tomlinson.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so is it invalidated this lap he's on now?
No, he was always in second, so that lap he just finished was invalidated.
But he was in second, but he was second to Daniel Tomlinson. Thiago Hoffman is now in pole position.
Got you. Ignore me. I totally know what I'm talking about. Indeed, Tiger Hoffman's up into P1 now, 138 dead, but Alex Shahabi is just behind. So Shahabi. Alex Shahabi, there we go. Just behind Tiger Hoffman's in terms on the circuit is going purple. So that lap that he did previously lost the time, but is now making up for it, having another go at it. He's obviously got the fuel, he's obviously got the tyres, he's finding the time, and I think we're going to stick with this just as he comes through the final couple of turns. Still going purple, so he will hopefully set a new fastest time.
I think the question is going to be as well, how much does he take it by compared to the rest of the field, because it's not much separating himself and Hoffman at the moment, only 0.165, so let's see how that changes. Comes across the start finish line, goes faster than Hoffman's by 0.182, so not too far away. That's not a million miles away for Thiago Hoffman to try and reclaim. As we said, it could be, well, it's an improving circuit all the time, so this is still obtainable for Thiago Hoffman's.
Absolutely. Who is going purple on that, by the way. But Alex Shahabi, most notably, first person into 137s for GT4 class. On a track that is still damp. It has officially stopped raining, but it is still damp.
It's interesting seeing some of these lap times though. Daniel Tomlinson, I believe that's still the same lap time he set at the start of the session, sitting in 4th, 7/10 off of the fastest lap time, but then multiple drivers behind him still seem to be struggling on this greasy circuit, not being able to really get anywhere near the time that he set. So as we still follow Alex Shahabi as he now comes into the S's, looking very confident as he drives through there, meeting the apex of the corners. Yes, it looks to be Daniel Tomlinson having a very, very nice session there in 4th.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what you can do. So I'm just looking at the times. We're actually going to go to Martin Thorpe, Connexus Motorsport. Again, another name that's very familiar within within oNiD past few seasons.
Yeah, they've been racing. Well, I mean, they've been racing with us since I've been commentating. I think I think it's a year next month that I've been commentating with you guys. So, yeah, very very familiar name.
Yeah, absolutely. As Martin he does go wide through that hairpin. He's able to gather it up, but has lost time. He was about 0.3 of a second up on his personal best, but has now lost that. So we'll see if we can get anything back through this final turn. Gets a little bit back actually. It might be a very slight improvement as he comes to the line, and it is a very slight improvement, a matter of 100th of a second.
He has been dislodged by Daniel Tomlinson, who has popped into 3rd position. So Tomlinson having a really, really good session here. Obviously is a big fan of Donington Park and really knows all the nooks and crannies where he can get the most time from. So he's really doing well here. And he's only 3 attempts off the fastest lap time. So I think as this session goes on, he really could be a pole contender. But he did run a little bit deep into the S's there, so that might not be this lap.
Nope, and he abandons it. He did invalidate the lap, sadly. As he does indeed return back to the pit lane. Track has now gone to greasy. Are we going to see people start to risk it on the slick tyre for the GT4 class? 5 minutes ago.
Sorry, I was just going to say something stupid. It's okay.
No, it's risk it for a biscuit?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I would definitely like to know what your biscuit choices are.
I like custard cream.
Or Lotus Biscotti.
Funny enough, they had this same conversation on the Northampton County Cricket live stream earlier, so... yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
They've got nothing else better to talk about. It's just a bunch of men running around on the field hitting a ball. Anyway. Oh, I'm never going to hear the end of that.
Oh no.
Oh no. As we are ticking down the timer for qualifying 4 minutes, just over 4 minutes ago for these guys, and I think that's slick tyres for Martin Thorpe. I'm going to try and have a look at the tyres.
They're yellow.
They are yellow, but you can sometimes see the tyres, and usually if they're wet they have like a little extra layer on the tyre itself. You can just see it. I don't think he has it. Looking at his front left, I'm hoping I can get a, especially as to go into the last turn, I'm hoping I can see the tyre. I think he is on dries.
So here he comes now into the final corner. You can see that dry line forming there now as well as he's just exited. So this is this his opening lap or is this his flying? We'll find out now.
This is his opening lap.
Okay.
However,
so now on to his flying.
However, it's still showing as invalid. We'll keep an eye on that. We will, however, go to Ben Brown, who has just validated his lap, but that's annoying.
Oh gosh. The commentator's curse today is strong.
Is strong, absolutely. Click on someone, they invalidate. Click on someone, they crash. I'm not going to be entirely sure who to watch at the start of the race, to be perfectly honest, but hey ho.
Is what it is. But anyway, Ben Brown is up into 3rd position now, so has dislodged Daniel Thompson, who's fallen back to 5th. But Johnny Ashley having a nice session as well, up onto the 2nd row of the grid in 4th position. So nice to see Johnny running well as he now comes into the S's.
Is on the lap is our Johnny, so we'll see what he can do. At the minute, he's not setting the timing boards alight. But yeah, you can see, look at that. You can see the dry line now forming.
Yeah, it's just getting more and more a lighter grey is that dry line, and it's very visible to the naked eye as Johnny comes around the final corner. Let's see if Johnny can improve. Only 0.227 off of the fastest lap time. Comes across the line. Oh, Alex Shahabi's improved because he's 1 second quicker than everyone.
That's dry tyres.
Yes.
That's slicks.
So it looks like we've reached the change tyre point in this session, as politely shown to us by Alex Shahabi here. And he's going to be held up a little bit on this lap time by Johnny, who's obviously struggling a little bit on those, I assume he's still on those wet tyres. As well, we'll have to see what Martin Thorpe can do. Where's Thorpe? Thorpe is currently running in 5th, 1.2 seconds off. And I assume this lap time he's not invalidated, because I assume the last lap it was somehow invalidated. But anyway, as he now comes up into McLean's, then into Coppice, he's looking. He's not. Doesn't look like he's struggling at all. Anyway,
we'll just
Ben Brown now.
Yeah, we'll just jump to Ben because he's about to improve significantly as well. Up to 2nd position does Ben go. The next driver to finish a time lap does look to be Martin Thorpe, who's actually going very rapidly. He's found 0.8 of a second going through into the chicane.
So that would be plenty to take pole. Wait, do you say 1.8 of a second?
0.8, 0.8.
Sorry. Oh, so that would not obviously be enough to take pole position, but could put him somewhere near Ben Brown. So we'll have to wait and see if he can find. He's still got a couple corners to go.
He's found more time. This is going to be a very, very close to pole position. He's found 1.1 seconds, 1.2 seconds now. So he's going to come to the line. It's going to be close. Not quite enough.
Yeah, 0.080 off of his teammate, but a great result so far for Consecutive. Currently 1-2 with only 4 seconds to go within this session. It will be interesting to see if anyone else has gone for a tyre change. Johnny Ashley's not going to improve. He's in the pit lane. Alex Parkin is also not going to improve in 8th position. So that's it for those guys. Across the line has come I think that's Rachel Thompson as well. So he won't improve down in 7th. Greg. Daniel Thompson pops up into 3rd position. So that's knocked Ben Brown onto the back of the 2nd row of the grid, but as we've said, he is improving. Oh, Hoffmans takes it by 4 attempts. What about Ben Brown though? What's Ben Brown going to do as he comes towards the start finish line? It's only good enough for 3rd. He's back onto the 2nd row of the grid, and Alex Shahabi is one of our final drivers flying lap time. He's only 4 attempts
flying.
off.
He is absolutely flying. Half a second up on his best lap time. We got off a pole. Someone just did come to the line there. That was Aidan Oak, improving up to 6th position overall. Good lap from him. We will go back to Alex Shahabi. I believe he's the last person that's on our lap. Indeed he is. And he's going purple. So, with 1 corner to go, can Alex Shahabi take pole position away from Thiago Hoffmans? Let's wait and see as he now heads up towards the start finish line. Is it good enough? It is! He's taken pole position in the GT4 standings by, a decent margin there. And, there we go. That is the end of the qualifying session. It is indeed, as we do await the start of the race.
Something I just want to point out, though, I think the best driver out of the qualifiers, though, might be Martin Thorpe, because obviously he hasn't got any success time penalties to take, because Alex Shahabi has an extra 20 seconds in the pit lane. Thiago Hoffmans has 10 and Ben Brown has 5. Indeed they do. So shall we do a grid rundown? I think we shall. Oh, how very kind of you, good sir. Let's go to your starting positions. Kurbanov, pole position there for the Ferrari driver. You can see the success penalties being added from last round. Do not worry. They aren't racing infringements. They are success penalties from the finishing positions from last race. Our pole position driver will have 10 seconds to serve. David Grains in 6th will have 20 seconds, and Matt High in 4th will have 5. We'll get to the GT4s in a second. Buckley in 2nd. Gregory Ivanov in 3rd. Matt High 4th. Petr Janelek in 5th. David Grains in 6th. Michael Formato in 7th. That made it a mixed 3rd and 4th row for the F&M drivers. Andy King in 8th. Timothy Judabal in 9th. Nick Manders in 10th. Chris Martin 11th. Tyler McLeod in P12. Oliver Knowles P13. 14th.
John Lloyd, Ralph Vest 15th, Josh Grush, the lowest F&M driver in 16th, it's Marco Lipazenic in 17th, and Terrell Hubbard in 18th, and that is your GT3. GT4s are as follows. Shahibi, Hoffmans and Brown, all starting in the same order they finished last race. 20-second success penalty for Shahibi. Hoffman's 10-second success penalty, and Ben Brown 5 seconds. So that's a funny fact there. So Tiger Hoffman second, Ben Brown third, Martin Thorpe in fourth. That's a tongue twister. Daniel Tomlinson in fifth. Aidan Oak in sixth. Luke Swinkles in seventh. Johnny Ashley eighth. Arakon Collier in ninth. Rayshawn Thompson in 10th. 11th, Alex Parkin, and then the back row of Luke Sherlock and Greg Prescott finishes off your grid for round 3 of the oNiD QRT Multi-Class Team Championship.
So, yeah, we're just now moments away from the start of this race. Only 15 seconds to go until the cars get underway on their formation lap. And, well, yeah, I suppose this will be a nice one for you to commentate on, Aidan, as we've previously mentioned. You marshal a lot here, so... I
do indeed.
Yeah.
As I said, be there this weekend coming for the Convoy in the Park, the international and British truck racing, along with supporting series. I believe the British Endurance Championship will also have a 2-hour race there over the weekend, which will be quite fun. So, yeah, come by and say hi. And you might see me dressed up in orange with a cowboy hat. Just going to see if you can spot me. As everyone does get away for their formation lap. Just one note to say, Elmar Kurbanov definitely having some sort of connection issues, jumping in and out of the pit lane, but he has been able to take the grid away.
Wouldn't it be the first time we've seen that issue for him as well? I remember at Laguna Seca, he was having a very nice race until some sort of weird, what we think some sort of weird connection issue sent him to the pit lane, and we never saw him re-enter the circuit. So
yeah,
what's going to be interesting though actually is look at the top 3 of that class is, well, Christian Buckley and Gregory Ivanov, no time penalties, and Petty Jelinek instead in between 2 drivers with time penalties as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this all fills out after the pit stops. And again, what's really going to be interesting around here is a British racing circuit, so it's very tight. Ooh. With limited runoff areas. And again, Elmar Kurbanov seems to be having issues as it's trying again to send him back to the pit lane or some sort of weird stuff. So hopefully he's able to stay with us with the Lucor Racing Esports. We don't want them to have a third disastrous week in a row with one of their drivers having issues, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. He's looking all right for now, but we never know.
No, we'll keep an eye on him. We'll follow Christian Buckley in second, just in case we do have any more issues with Kurbanov disconnecting and then reconnecting back into the pit lane.
You forget how long this lap is, because obviously you have the national layout where they just go right and that'd be the end of the lap, but then you have this kind of little added section here. Great spot there to get some photographs if you stand on that hill, I find most of the time.
Yep, absolutely. Kurbanov struggling.
He is struggling connection-wise. Could we see a repeat of Laguna Seca? Well, we're only moments away from finding out. He needs to hope his Wi-Fi fixes itself soon and very, very quickly as they now go into single file. We're only moments away from the start of this.
It's going to be Kurbanov Buckley on the front row for GT3. Shahibi Hoffmans for GT4 in the background. We'll see who can get away cleanly is going to be the name of the game here at Donington Park. We're going to go on to the start-finish straight. We'll stay with Christian Buckley as they get to the start-finish line, and we'll very shortly see the green flag for our 90-minute race tonight.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that.
And indeed, they do get away, indeed, as green flag is waved. Kurbanov having to defend from Buckley, but Ivanov making a challenge. And that's Aston Martin from PT going wide. Car going off in the background. And that is... Buckley dropping down the order. That's a horrible start for him. That's allowed the two Lukoil Racing Esports cars to go out into the lead. The GT4 class, Ben Brown, it's Alex Shahibi, Ben Brown, Martin Thorpe. Hoffman's has dropped.
Big crash in the background, big crash. Multiple cars off, one of the PS UK cars off in the background as well. And it's Christian Buckley. Christian Buckley, after a great qualifying session, has found himself off of the circuit near the bridge. What is going on there for Christian Buckley?
We're about to find out. So we do jump into the replay side by side of one of the Prototypo Racing Porsches. Comes down into the old hairpin, runs wide onto the throttle. And loses it. And then there was PSUK Esports having another issue of his own.
I mean, that could have been so much worse as well with the contacts that he made with his sister Right Guys Motorsports car in the BMW. It could have been cars off all over the circuit, but luckily, in the end, only 2 cars going off, unfortunately for them. And, after a really promising qualifying session for the second position team in the Teams Championship, it looks like it's fallen apart for them. Anyway, Thiago Hoffman's currently running in third, so second. Actually, the time screen hasn't updated there because Ben Brown is running behind him again now. So obviously fell back behind Ben, but it's made his way in front of him again. Alex Shahabi doing a good job, as you can hear. I think that I don't know if that's a car or an impersonation of a jet going.
It's a car around.
There's car around. Who is that? It's Lipo Zenchik. What has gone on with him? He's making his way back on the circuit, but has fallen behind the GT4 standings.
Let's see what happened with him. Think this might be himself and them all by themselves. Into turn 1 he goes. Does he get too much of the right foot? He does. Takes to the grass and then he goes round.
I mean, great job of getting on the great brakes there and sitting on the inside. But yeah, sadly, he's fallen back. Also, Johnny Ashley's had a bad first lap there. He's currently down in, I think that's last position. So he's been involved in some sort of incident, I assume, based off how far back he is.
Well, let's find out. We're going to go to a replay of the start. He was already in pretty much down. He wasn't actually. He was in midfield GT4. So I do wonder if he's been caught up in a little bit of an accident, and we're about to find out.
They're almost pretty wide. Is it teammates? It's teammates. Parkins hit him. Parkins hit him and he sent him around. It's a classic British touring car moment there. And oh dear, that's going to be an awkward Discord call.
I do not want to be sitting in the Discord chat right now.
Oh dear. But the oNiD, they continue. Johnny Ashley continues on, but far back behind some of the others in the field. But it's fighting between teammates at the moment. Gregory Ivanov putting Elmar Kurbanov under a lot of pressure here. And what do they decide to do? Kurbanov obviously has that time penalty in the pit lane. Could be a wise idea to just do the team smart move and let him pass, but it doesn't look like Elmar Kurbanov wants to give up the position yet, as they now head into the S's. Look how much stronger on the brakes. Kurbanov is through there. Not Kurbanov, Ivan is through there. And now as we come into the Melbourne hairpin, onto the brakes again, and look on the brakes, they're so close to making contact at the rear. And there's a mistake in the background, and that sees Per Jelinek go past Matt High running deep into that corner. And what looks like a decent Fry Guys Motorsports race day for them has really gone out the window, as he's now under pressure from both the FNM cars that they're trying to put pressure on in the team's championship.
I think actually it was Michael Formato, the FNM driver in MP6, actually who went wide in the Honda and then let through Matt High into fourth. So I think actually Matt High actually gained positions from that. Goes wide, does the Honda. Yeah,
still obviously very flustered, and he's under pressure. Pressure from Nick Manders. Contact between the pair of them, right front to the back left. And luckily somehow they're both kept out the walls, and Formato is still on the side, but he's gone wide, and that's going to give an opportunity to Nick Manders. Nick Manders going around the outside, coming into McLean's. He's going to try and send it up the inside. He's there. He's also on the big contact. They've hit each other. Off goes Formato, and through goes the prototype car, Oliver Knowles, and the sister team of Jabdul in the FNM McLaren.
And there's been a fight up in the lead. There's been a change of position. Kurbanov down to second, and Ivanov up to first.
So has that been team orders, or has that just been superior pace from Grigory Ivanov? Let's have a look. As they come up towards Coppice, it looks like it's going to be team orders, I'd say, because I assume there's not going to be a move into the S's. And it is, yeah, team orders. Nearly failed a little bit on them there. But team orders, both of the Ferraris swap. Not the first time we've seen two Ferraris swapping positions because of team orders. But as the Luko guys swap, and now it's Grigory Ivanov that leads this race with no success penalty to be taken in the pit lane. Oh, and a penalty for 5:16, so 15 seconds. That is Jabdul in the F&M McLaren. So I wonder what that is for. Let me go and have a little look.
Have a gander for us, would you, dearest? That'd be grand. Things are now calmed down a little bit. I say that. Tyler McLeod, F&M, catching John Lloyd here of Friday's Motorsport with oNiD. McLaren versus BMW. McLaren's quite handy. It's a very handy car.
The 15-second penalty was to do with contact with car 13. I assume near the start of this race. Apparently they had contact with one another at the rear, so that's why.
That was the Chris Martin. So we saw the Aston Martin Friday guys and Chris Martin going off as well. Having those own incident. I think that was it.
So yeah, that is where the McLaren's penalty has come from. So not good for the McLaren version of the F&M guys. Oh, here we have a replay.
Yeah, contact with car 13. It was at the start. Let's see what happened. So manages to. So we're following car 13, who the F&M car made contact with, and indeed that was his, and that's why he got the penalty. With the standard replay didn't go on for maybe much longer enough. That was a little bit annoying.
But well, I mean, if people, we can assume how it ended. I can't get my words out. Anyway, actually, oh wait, no, here's a replay again. This is going to
be the better replay as car 13 goes through the old hairpin. There's that slight touch of pitbull manoeuvre, and then there was the Fry Guys driver having an issue of his own and giving him a clout for good measure.
Yeah, that's just wrong place, wrong time for the PSUK Ferrari. As we now follow John Lloyd, he's currently running in 10th position, up behind Formato after Formato's had some issues throughout this race. As now we come to Luke Sherlock, currently seems to be in no man's land here. Not a car in front of him, not a car behind him. Has he had an issue?
No, he is racing a car. Look, there's a connection issue for Arakan Collier. That is internet going badly.
Yeah, he looks like a stop motion animation currently, so it's it's going to be a bit hard to fight that Mustang because Collier is, well, he's, I don't even know how to describe it. He looks like the glitch from Wreck-It Ralph. That's how I can describe it. That is the only way I can describe it at the moment. And but it seems like Luke Sherlock, even with whatever's going on in front of him, is able to have a battle with the Chevrolet.
Quite potentially, and now, that is issues for Luke as well, potentially. Because let's go back to a car that actually has good connection. As Luke, I think, is also suffering from the same internet issues for some random reason. And Aaron, indeed, suffering. Look at that. That's horrible. That's not our end. Stream is still running. Very random. Very random indeed. Ping is okay. Frame rate is okay. That is a very random issue.
The McLaren is also now doing it. Swinkles is also, but there's Alex Parkin.
Huh.
Stay away from them. Ignore them.
Yeah, ignore them. It's not everyone. see if Greg Prescott's doing it, Ray Sean Thompson is doing it, and Johnny Ashley is. Is it just the back of the field, basically, that's doing this? Aidan Oak, Tomlinson, Thorpe, Brown. Oh, that's random.
Yes. I just want to do an update as well. 10-7 penalty coming to 989 for an incident with with an incident with car 231.
Well, hopefully, I certainly hope my PC isn't about to die because everything looks okay. I'm just Earl of Ipswich saying whoever's streaming's PC is about to die. I definitely hope not.
Prayers for Aiden's PC, please.
Yeah, very much so. That is very random.
But look, the cars in the background are fine. The GT3 seem to be looking okay. Oh, Kurbanov in the pit lane just appeared. Has he had an issue?
Quite potentially.
Because I saw a little flicker of a Ferrari in the pit lane, and I don't know if that's meaning he's had an issue.
Quite potentially. Folks, we're going to take a brief pause for a minute whilst I have a look at some settings in the game.
I can tell you at the moment the cars are holding position from what I can see. Still following Luke Sherlock. He's still got the Aston Martin of Martin Thorpe running up behind him. They now head into Coppets. He turns the Mercedes in, and he's still running ahead of him. About a 2 to 3 car length between them as they run down the back straight now. They now come up towards the S's, and that's all I can describe for the current moment.
We are just getting a couple of technical issues sorted, folks. We'll be back with the race in a couple of moments' time as we just try...
What's everyone's favourite biscuit as we brought that up?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's favourite biscuit in chat. Like, I like an Oreo. It's an Oreo. I don't know if an Oreo is classed as a biscuit, but an Oreo is I think it is, and I enjoy an Oreo personally. Has anyone else got any like favourites? Like anyone like Jammy Dodger? Anyway, actually, we're back on the racing. I can tell you what's somewhat happening here. So we're currently following Aidan Oak. He's currently in a no man's land here. Currently, he's separated from the car ahead by 3.6 seconds and has a gap to the car behind of 5 seconds in the Apex Driving School Aston Martin. He's now just coming down the Craner curves now. He's all online here, looking like he has decent pace. Now as he comes into the old hairpin, takes the car around the corner, and now we come to Format. Format's had some issues in this race by the looks of it. He's fallen to 12th position as he now rounds the first corner, putting his teammate McLeod under a lot of pressure here. He was right on the rear of McLeod in the 227 McLaren. They now come down the Craner curves, now into the old hairpin. About 0.193 seconds separates the pair of them. It doesn't look like it's going to be a move for Michael Formato yet, as they now head up towards McLean's. He's got a tighter line through McLean's on the curb, whereas the McLaren isn't on the curb and runs wide on the exit, flicks the back end out, and now they have to try and negotiate some GT4s. They're past one of the Apex Driving School cars, and they've also caught up with Ralph Vest, who's caught up with some of these Janaires, and they're now coming down the back straight towards the S's, and Formato is putting the McLaren under a little bit of pressure, but he's side by side, and he's made contact with one of the Janaires. He's made contact again on the S's of exit of the S's, pushed out to the outside of the circuit, and it's been caught, tagged on the rear, and that's sent him to the inside. He's not going to be able to get his car stopped for the corner, so he dives across the front of the Melbourne chicane, hairpin, and luckily doesn't collect anyone, but then just for some reason has a little bit of an attack on the Apex Driving School car, and a lot of cars getting caught up in this. Christian Buckley, having a good recovery drive, is now fighting with him for 12th position. So now as we come down, it's actually this battle for the championship, team's championship, hasn't gone too badly for Fry guys, because they have now caught, well, Christian Buckley is now caught up again to Formaro, but has actually had a car now put between them. I believe that car is Alex Parkin. So now as they come through the old hairpin, this gives Formaro a bit of breathing room to try and get away from the Aston Martin, who's really struggling to get past Alex Parkin. He's finally done it, and well, look at that, how much that gap has opened up there. There was really nothing separating them, and now it's about, well, it's about over a second. And actually a car off ahead of him, I think King in the PS UK Ferrari's gone off. Oh, that's the big one. Ralph Best has gone off. That's one of the Chevrolets has gone off as well. I think that's King as well, and that's going to give Formaro a handful of position, now up to 11th position, and all that, whatever that was, all that massive collision of fighting has brought Christian Buckley now back into this one as well, as now they come into the Melbourne chicane, why do I call it hairpin, past the Heiligenstein. The toilets are on the left, if you needed to know. These guys are getting close to one another. And that's an instant though. That is an instant for Josh Grush in the FNM McLaren. He's gone straight on at the Melbourne hairpin all by himself there. So I wonder how he's managed to do that. And he's made his way back past some of the GT4 as he was trying to lap. But he's now fallen to 15th position. And well, he's with most of the drivers that have had issues in this race. So this is not good for Josh Grush, as he now has to, well, really try and overtake some of these GT4s again. He's been able to do it easily so far. He goes past, that might be that could be Tomlinson, or it might be, actually I think it is Tomlinson. Actually no, it's not Tomlinson, so he's at the back of the GT4 standings. And he's just about making his way up and through the field, as we now come to Oliver Knowles. He's fighting with Jabdul in the McLaren, and Oliver Knowles is putting him under a lot of pressure here. So the in his prototypo racing machine, he's currently just a little bit too far back to try and move as we come into the braking zone for the final corner, but he's just not able to mount that challenge yet. Anyway, these GT4s will help though. I think he's currently now at the front of the field. I think that is Martin Forbes is making his way past, and now it then has Ben Brown. Forbes actually it's made a decent gap there between the Porsche and the McLaren, but is still not much separating these cars. Anyway, 10-second penalty for car 9. Who is that in the field? That is someone. It is Johnny Ashley. So Johnny Ashley has been rewarded a 10-second penalty. Let me just go into the system to have a look at what for. So Johnny, so car 9, which is Johnny, was given a penalty for contact with car 230 for some contacts for earlier in the race, avoidable contacts. So Johnny Ashley, well, not great races, got even worse. There's Oliver Knowles is still just that little bit too far back to try and attempt anything on the McLaren of Jabubal in the F&M car, and it seems like they're at that stage where they're both kind of, well, obviously Oliver's a little bit faster, but he hasn't got enough pace to actually get alongside him through, which might be a little bit frustrating for him, as now they're just about dealt with all the GT4 cars. That is Hoffman's they're now just overtaking now, and it's just the McLaren gets in the way as well, so that's going to give an opportunity for Jab Ubal in the McLaren. So as you can see, this gap has opened up again, so this is very, very, very frustrating for Oliver Knowles as it stands. As I reported earlier though, Elmar Kovanov is still running in this race. I think that was just part of our connection issues earlier on, and actually this, by the way, has turned into a freeway fight as Nick Manders is now involved, and Alex Abbey is not helping, and around the outside goes Oliver Knowles. on the M&M McLaren, the 536 guy, and they've got to that's the GT4 race leader sideways. He's just about to get on the circuit, but that's going to give an opportunity to Thiago Hoffmans, and that was a little bit dodgy though. I think there was like 3 cars trying to go into one there. Didn't work, and the flash of the lights by Alex Shahabi, he was obviously not happy about that manoeuvre. And well, yeah, that really has cost the GT4 leader some time to his rivals, because as you can see now, the McLaren right on the rear of the Aston Martin, and these guys, it's going to be frustrating for Alex Shahabi, and it looks like it has shook him maybe a little bit, because he is not re-establishing that gap behind to the McLaren, as Oliver Knowles is also going to be very frustrated, because well, that was a brilliant opportunity from there, and it all fell through. 5-3-5, it's been given a 20-second penalty, so 5-3-5. Let's see where that is in the field. That is Grush. So Grush has been given a 20-second penalty and a 5-second penalty for 2:30. So as I look through the order, that's a big one. That's David Grains, current championship leader. David Grains has been given it's been given a 5-second penalty. So let me just have a look what that was for. So 2:30. Let's have a look again for avoidable contact. So already had that 20 seconds to serve after winning last time out, and he's going to have an extra 5 seconds now added to that time, so very unideal for himself. And these guys are having a lovely little battle between them here as they head into the Melbourne hairpin. Petr Jelinek having a great race in the racing stronger Aston Martin, but he's finding himself under a lot of pressure from Matt High. Matt High looks inside, but then runs a little bit deep in doing so, and that's going to give an opportunity to David Grains now. So these guys are really going at it between one another as they now come toward down the end of the start-finish straight. This is another important championship battle as Matt High runs ahead of David Grains. These guys currently the top 2 teams in the teams championship, only 27 points separating the pair of them, and I believe these 2 are the current championship leaders, with another around 20 points separating the pair of them as well. So Matt High actually in a really nice position here if he can just put Petr Jelinek between the pair of them. As I said, yeah, 21 points separating these 2 in the championship. So yeah, if he can just put Petr Jelinek between them, that could be nice for him. And this is actually a great result for Petr Jelinek as well. Currently running 5th in the championship and only 14 points behind Gregory Ivanov. Sadly, Ivanov currently leading this one, so it's not going to get it's get closer to him. But Timothy Jabubul will be is actually running behind him at the moment, so Petr Jelinek will be able to make inroads to him in the championship, as only 18 points separate the pair of them. As now we come into the ring, so it looks like an opportunity for for David Grains, but Matt High defends to the inside and closes the door directly shut on the NSX's face, as they now run into the braking zone. The NSX putting the Aston Martin under a little bit of pressure, and it's really awkward position to be in now for Matt High, as we now run on board with David Grains running behind these 2. Gives it a little bit of flash and lights, like just let him know I'm coming for you, Matt High, and I am going to come past. But as it stands, it doesn't look like the NSX has a plan that it can execute, as they've now run down the Craner curve. Well, this is not an overtaking opportunity for a GT3 car, so he's going to have to try and get a decent run through him to try and stand up maybe for McLean. So we've seen a few overtakes around there so far, and it's these guys have kind of dulled in their battle ever so slightly, because they've just kind of created a little bit of a gap between one another where they aren't close enough to overtake. I think Matt Hyde just kicks up a little bit of dirt, but despite of the battle when we need them, the GT4s are in the field, so as they now start making their way through past the GT4s, they're going to be held up at the S's here. So, well, for Petr Jelinek, he needs to try and get past that Chevrolet, and he couldn't, and that's going to bring these guys all together. They are really like a train carriage for one another, and this is an opportunity for David Grains, and he's using the GT4 to block him, and that's going to be moved on for David Grains down the inside of Matt High. He's hit Petr Jelinek's backwards. That's that is disastrous for the championship leader. 2 bits of major contacts in 2 races for David Grains. And well, that could be costly. I fear there may be a penalty coming his way. As well, he now has moved up into third position. But the question is, for how long? Already has an extra 5 seconds, and I mean, that is got. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying this. That is surely going to be a penalty coming his way. As Matt High now follows him down the Craner Curse, hasn't fallen too far back from the NSX. Still feels like the Five Guys man still feels like he has the pace to catch the NSX and make his way past. And while this is really even though this is only a battle for third, it is the battle for the championship. Anyway, Timothy Jad-Ubul in the McLaren is fallen back a little bit here. Currently in 7th, it's behind Nick Manders, but it's opened that gap up to Oliver Knowles by 3.9 seconds. So he's not under pressure from him currently, but he's still actually falling back a little bit from Nick Manders. So this battle. But it's gone from a bit of a freeway fight to dulling off a little bit. And well, the timing screen at the moment, it is a bit of a Christmas tree. It reminds me of when we went to Zandvoort, I believe, in a couple of years ago, a year ago in one of our series. Andy King is actually putting Grush under a lot of pressure here. King, we saw in a little bit of contact earlier on around the exit of Coppice with some of the GT4 competitors. And is on a bit of a recovery drive, and is having to put Grush under a little bit of pressure. It isn't really close enough to driving, but if he gets a good entrance and exit to the S's here, he could maybe try something into the Melbourne chicane. But again, really, he actually looked like the McLaren got the better run, and he's going to be able to extend that gap out, and not really. Well, he's not finding himself under any pressure at all. Actually, but saying that though, the PS UK Esports 12 car does actually close up a little bit under the brakes there into the Melbourne hairpin. As now they go around the final corner. Can he attempt anything into the first corner? I don't think so, as we see the other PS UK car in the pit lane there. So it looks like Chris Martin has had an issue at some stage in this race and is either coming in to serve some sort of penalty. No, he hasn't. He's had some sort of issue. Chris Martin had a very promising qualifying session, but now finds himself, very much competitive-wise, out of this one, as his teammate is definitely still within this race after issues earlier on, as he's putting under pressure Grush. 15-second penalty, 20-second penalty for car 111. That is in the field. That is Oliver Knowles. Oliver Knowles, obviously, they felt he was at fault. Oh, it's Formato's gone off as well. So obviously, they felt like Oliver Knowles was at fault for that earlier incident with, I believe, one of the Chevrolets, and while he was running with Nick Manders and Timothy Jad-Ubul in. So, here's a replay of that incident. As you can see, the McLaren. These guys, it was an opportunity he had to take, Oliver Knowles, but just completely outbroke himself as they headed up towards Coppice here and tries to go 3 into 1, and that gap was always going to close. And that is a decision I think the stewards have got right there. Well, Mario currently on 5 seconds, and as you can see, a lot of cars with time penalties in this session, so it's going to be interesting to see how that all works itself out. And we've still got an hour and 1 minute to go in this race. And David Graves has made contact with one of either Alex Parkin or Johnny Ashley. That I believe that's more likely. Actually, I'm not too sure, but that is not good. It was Johnny Ashley. So Ashley, gosh, I do feel sorry for Johnny sometimes, because he's just constantly in the wars. To be fair to him, he seems to have a decent qualifying session and then seems to be involved in some sort of incident in the race. But Johnny soldiering on with that 10-second penalty, and currently has actually made his way back from the back of the GT4 field, overtaking 4 cars. So it's not the end of the world for him. But oh my gosh, that is a battle running up ahead. I think there's a couple of cars running side by side into turn 1. I could just see Ashley's about to be overtaken by recovering Pei Yenleg, as we now come back to Christian Buckley, who is ahead of Formato. That's important for the team's championships. He's currently running ahead of one of the championship leaders in the team's GT3 teams class. And now we can have a look Now, let's see what happens here. Is it contact between championship rivals in the teams category? We'll have to wait and see. Actually, no, this is Formato and this is not Formato. This is David Grange, and yeah, they're side by side with one another. Johnny turns in, and it's a bit of an awkward one. They were side by side, but it could have been. It's going to be an interesting one. We'll have to see what comes of that. As we now follow Nick Manders, who was ahead of Timothy Jad Ubul and well, let's see what happens here. I'm currently running behind, I believe. That's over. That is Johnny again, and he's actually been held up by Johnny as Johnny went to take the racing line. Then has a little bit of contact with McLaren, and that is moved on by Timothy Jad Ubul. So that. So a little bit, you can see how the traffic works at this circuit. It's not an easy venue to overtake at, so when you do get traffic, it can really, really hinder you, and that is what happened to poor Nick Manders there. But it hasn't obviously fallen off the pace because he is putting that McLaren under a lot of pressure. And McLaren runs wide, and that's going to be an opportunity for Nick Manders. He's right on the rear of the McLaren, but the McLaren actually gets the better drive off the corner, and he's going to look to take that wider line. The McLaren decides to take that line a lot later, and this could easily be an opportunity actually for the Porsche driver here as we follow Timothy Jad Ubul in the Fear Nothing Motorsport McLaren, and they do actually make it past one of the GT4, so he actually hasn't been held up into that section of the circuit, so that has not helped Nick Manders. But there are some other GT4s running up ahead of these cars. Also, I want to point out, I saw Per Jelinek coming into the pit lane, so he's currently, after running in the podium positions, dropping down the order. 5-second penalty for car 9 in the field, as these guys continue fighting, and actually the McLaren is being held up. I guess a little bit of a twitch to the rear end there at Coppets, but again, Nick Manders a little bit too far back to deal with it, and he's actually going to struggle to get past the McLaren into the SS. I think he's just going to have the superior brakes to get through, and he does, but Timothy Jad Ubul in the F&M McLaren actually now finds himself all the way up in 5th position, so it shows you what consistent driving is done in this race. And well, I think this going from a lower top 10 battle has now gone up to a top 5 battle between the two of them. Anyway, we come to Christian Buckley, who's currently fighting with McLeod in the 227 Fear Nothing Motorsports McLaren. Let's see what Christian Buckley can do in the Fry Guys car. He currently has some GT4s also running up ahead of him, so this battle is also going to be greatly helped by the GT4 guys. And well, actually, it's not actually going to be helped that much. And actually, there's a car up ahead of him at turn 1. There's a car backwards at turn 1. I just saw it in the glimpse of my eye. We may see who it is when we make it around the corner here now. I assume they're just going to be on the inside grass if they're still there. No, they're not. I could have sworn I saw a car facing the wrong direction there. Could have been my eyes playing games with me here. It's been a long day of filming cricket. As Christian Buckley is... Oh, it's going to be an opportunity for Christian Buckley here. He's going to run side by side with McLeod as they head up towards McLean's. He's going to be alongside him. He's going to go around the outside and then have the inside for McLean's. And that is moved done for Christian Buckley. Nicely done by the Five Guys Motorsports with oNiD Aston Martin. And actually now has the sister car of John Lloyd running up ahead. So will Lloyd let his sister come on through? We'll have to wait and see. Currently running in 8th position. This is gonna this after the lap 1 incident has been a great recovery drive from Christian Buckley through the field. Obviously, it's evidently had the race pace, but wasn't able to take advantage of it. We saw some tyres off the inside there, so someone's made contact with the tyres on the inside of the corner. Comes down the inside. I don't think John Lloyd's going to fight this. We'll have to wait and see. And he hasn't. The GT4 just ahead, stopping him. So as they now are separated by the GT4, this is a bit of a Mika Hakkinen move. But yeah, Christian Buckley makes a move and actually has put Five Guys car between himself and McLeod. So nice driving from Christian Buckley to separate himself through. Now he's just got to try and deal with the traffic as Christian Buckley does so and makes his way past one of the Ginettas.
Apologies for that. I am back now.
Okay, welcome back.
Oh, sorry, it's a very impromptu nosebleed for a brief moment. So I had to go sort that out. I am back now. All is good. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
What did I miss? I was trying to run backwards and forwards to the PC with tissues in hand. So
a lot of penalties, as you can see. It's a bit. If you remember that one time we commentated example, the timing screen has turned into that once again.
oh Christmas tree, how you are full of penalties.
Yes, and well, I mean, we aren't. It does. I mean, I can't look at my window. It's a bit overcast. But it doesn't remind me of Christmas time at the moment. But anyway, John Lloyd has been fighting with McLeod here, and actually Christian Buckley has overtaken the pair of them in that time on his recovery drive after the lap 1 incident down at the old hairpin. So these guys have kind of continued to lose the battle between the pair of them for 8th position. And that's really been it. Gregory Ivanov in a really good position so far. Currently has no penalties. And actually, someone that may have some more penalties coming their way and actually might have missed it. I'm not sure if that's just like 5 seconds now. Is David Grains. He actually ran into the back of Petr Jelinek while trying to overtake Matt High. And he had a 5-second penalty added before that. And I believe he might have had a further 10 seconds added to his time because I believe that says 35 instead of 25 now.
Yep, spot on. So big penalty for David just set on to take on his first pit stop. Now, it would be an hour and a half race. There is only first pit stop. You have to stop for fuel because you can't do an hour and a half on 1 tank of fuel. So these guys will be making a pit stop at some point. So logistically, doing it in about midway through the race to get your fuel you need is the most likely option. So we think people will start pitting sooner rather than later. Is there a mandatory pit window? I cannot remember.
Let me check my notes. I believe there should be at the mid. Normally there's one at the mid stage of the race, so I assume because this is an hour and 15, there'll be one at the 45-minute mark. But I will doubly check that for you.
Jesus, I can't quite remember. How awful of me. Battle for the Jadabol and Manders heating up again with thanks to a bit of back marker holding up, but can the Porsche make a move on the inside? No, thinks better of it. However, the McLaren does go wide into entry, but gathers it out for the exit. Yes,
there is a halfway pit box open period, so we are still waiting for that. Currently, still 52 minutes to go in this one. I mean, it's felt like this has been going on forever so far, but we've still got a very, very, very long time of such entertaining racing to continue with these guys, and it's really going to be interesting to see how this all works out after the pit stops, because as we've mentioned the Christmas lights of the timing board at the moment. So it's going to be an interesting one. Currently, Nick Manders and Jad Ubul in the FNM cars these guys have been fighting for a while. Was a lower top 10 battle at the start of this, now has turned into about the 5th position, so a decent point scoring position for the pair of them here. Both of them would bite your arm off for it, I assume. And as they come down to the Melbourne hairpin, we're right on board with Nick Manders, as in he's screaming 992 here as you hear it head up the hill. He's going to look to the inside into the final corner. Defending to the inside is Jab Ubul, and these guys actually, it's not going to be opportunity in turn 1 either, because the better exit again for the McLaren will keep stealing. It just seems to have that better traction coming onto the start finish straight, and stops the Porsche, putting him under any sort of pressure. As we now head down the crane of curves, will these guys be able to do anything? No, not really. Jad Ubul in the Fear Nothing Motorsports car has opened up that gap very nicely. I believe his teammate of McLeod currently also running in 10th position, so within the top 10, so not a bad points haul for the pair of these guys compared to Manders' teammate of Lipo Zenchik, who's currently running in 16th. It's it's not been nothing motorsports, at least for the sister team of the NSXs, isn't having a too bad of a weekend.
No, not at all. So doing relatively well. Hopefully they can keep it that way. But let's see what's happening further up in the field. There's a battle for 4th and 3rd. Still brewing is Grains and Hine. So Grains and High, should I say? I was about to say Hine. It isn't Jacob Hine. It's Matt High. Get my names right. That would help, wouldn't it? as Matt goes through turn 1. He's still struggling to catch that Honda. Honda's holding out for now. Quite can't do anything of it. These F&M guys holding position 3rd, 5th, 10th and 11th for them. So see what they can do. As you now see, the pit window is now open. 10 minutes is the time for everyone to make their pit stop. And again, I do believe the first 5 minutes will be allocated for the GT3 class. And then the second 5 minutes will be there for the GT4 class. 10th and 11th are in the pits.
Also,
So-
I just want to correct an error I made earlier. It was Grutch, who is currently running in 14th, is the teammate of the car. The Jad Ubel, who is running in 5th.
Yep, spot on. But for now, as I said, pit window is now open for these guys, and there will be the GT3s will be the first cars to take the 5 minutes of the first half of the pit window. Then once that 5 minute is over, the GT4s will then take their pit stops, and hopefully it might give a bit of movement to the order, especially with penalties still outstanding. And here comes, speaking of penalties, here comes David Grains from P3 should I say. And he's going to have a very long pit stop. He's going to drop all the way down the order. This will be about a minute and a half at least in the pit lane.
For the championship leader as well, so
It's going to hurt him big time.
yeah, it's been somewhat, well, in a way, somewhat consistent over the first 2 rounds, but it looks like this time at Donington Park it has broken that. Anyway, these guys still running very, very tightly together, and, well, still not an opportunity yet for Nick Manders to really try and make a square pass to feed Jad Ubel in the McLaren. And all Marco Lipozenchik, his teammate, has had some sort of issue there, being overtaken by, I believe, Grush.
I think that might have been blue flags. So it did pop up as yellow flags. I thought he had a crash. I think it was just going too slow for the yellow flags to happen.
But it was. I was going to say McLeod overtook him, unless he felt McLeod was the faster driver and just thought he'd let him through.
Oh yeah, I stand corrected. Let's have a look and see what happened. Oh,
Ooh, is that Christian Buckley?
that is.
Oh, it's not going to be Buckley. It's going to be by himself if it is. And I know he's just let past Buckley's. And then he's also accidentally let past a competitor on the track
Yeah,
as
so
well.
Saw the blue flags. I thought, hold on a minute, I'm actually fighting you for position.
Yeah, as we see, there comes out of the pit lane, does David Grains. Where has he fallen to? He's currently come out in 11th position behind Christian Buckley. So that's interesting.
Waiting for your timing soon to update. It's actually 14th. He's out in, sadly.
Oh, so that is for our championship leader. This is disastrous. Has really been the consistent driver over the first 2 rounds, and well, it looks like it's his turn for some of the bad luck. And this could be a really nice opportunity for Lucal Esports to regain some points. As currently after they've had their issues, F&M have actually normally been able to get away with it, but for Masto is currently running in 16th, and David Grains currently running in 14th, so they are really going to have a low scoring weekend. So this could be an opportunity for a lot of teams to claim some points back on the championship leaders. As I've said, Matt High, this is going to be great for him, currently running in he's still dropping, but it says 5th on my timing screen. That would be great for him, considering only 21 points separate him and this man in the championship. And this race has really, well, if it stays how it is, has really, really shook up our championship standings. Anyway, Nick Manders coming out the pit lane in 6th, I believe. I think, or it might be lower than that, because that could be the other Fry guy's car of Christian Buckley. No, 7th. He's come out in 7th. So yeah, he has come out behind Matt High there. So Nick Manders also having a really, really nice race here. As you know, it was Christian Buckley. He's come out behind, and now he's going to put Christian Buckley under some pressure. He's going to try and go down the inside. Buckley squeezes him to Ben. I believe that was Ben Brown there, and nearly a big incident between the pair of them, still putting him under a lot of pressure as they now head up the hill. And he's still right behind him. He's sitting right on the rear spoiler of Christian Buckley. Buckley, well, just doing a superb job of taking all this pressure, and it's just about held on. We're about to see the GT3 pit window close, and they've all made their way into the pit lane. And this is, oh no, it's not an opportunity. I look back at my timing screen, and it looks like actually suddenly into the SS there, Nick Manders was held up a lot by one of the Janettas, as we see Jad Ubul and King in the pit lane. So the PS UK and the F&M car, the two cars left to stop, and we see our first of our GT4 stoppers there. That was one of the Apex driving school cars coming into the pit lane. As we see Aidan Oak, there he is, Aidan Oak coming in as well. That's some of the Janettas as well, and actually a lot of the class coming in as they would do. 5 seconds penalty for car 9. Is that, who is that? That is, oh, Johnny Ashley's had another 5-second penalty, so he's got 25 seconds worth of penalties now. So let me just have a quick look through my system of why that might have been.
Still yet to take his pit stoppage, Johnny, so you have to serve all that time in the pit box, as he's got 2 GT3 trying to make his way past, and that's contact. Oh, it's not going to go down well. Struggling is Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny's penalty was for that contact, I believe he made with David Grains when up here at Coppice a few, well, actually I think it was quite a while ago now. A little bit of contact there with Oliver Knowles. That could have been even worse as well. Johnny in the wars at this race, and I do feel sorry for him. He's having an absolutely torrid time in this session. Still has to come in to serve his pit stop, and well, he's going to be stuck there for quite some time.
He is indeed making contact with Ollie Knowles, going into the blind right-hander of Coppice, if I remember correctly. I should know this off by heart at this point. I really should. But it does continue nonetheless.
And this is an interesting battle, because this is between the two guys that had that little bit of contact. 5-second penalty for car 90. As these are the two guys, when aiding you on your break, David Grains really just kind of speared straight into the back of Peter Jelinek. And so these guys, after the penalties and after the recovery drive, have found themselves back on circuit one another. So this kind of blood feud is with one another, and we'll have to see what Peter Jelinek can do to the NSX. He will surely want to make his way back past to get some sort of revenge while they're fighting for the podium positions. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here as they now go through the old hairpin. It looks like the NSX has a little bit of an advantage now. It's not going to be an opportunity in McLean's here as they now run through it, and I think what Peyanek will need is maybe some GT4 cars running up ahead of the pair of them as we come to ride on board with Peyanek. A lot more of the inside taken there. You see the car bunny hop over the inside curbing there, and they do have a lapped car, I believe, running up ahead of them. Actually, or it might be John Lloyd, actually. Let me have a look when he turns into the hairpin. Actually, I believe that is John Lloyd.
It is John Lloyd. They're catching John.
So, can Peyanek make his way past David Grains before he catches John Lloyd? But actually, John Lloyd could be helpful in this battle, because if he can, he could back up the NSX into the Racing Stronger 52 car. So we'll have to see how this one all works itself out. And I have just realised as well, this needs to be a high-scoring race for Peyanek, because obviously Matt Holman, with those PC issues, isn't here. So it means that there is only sole car in this race for the team standings.
Yep, absolutely. So they're going to have to try and recoup some time. There's contact, however. Oh, it's two GT. That's Terrell Hubbard, the GT3 driver, trying to get past Martin Thorpe, and it was for position, but a slower class. That's the Apex Driving School of Terrell Hubbard, so all the way down in 19th position and struggling.
Yeah, and Martin Thorpe would not have wanted that before his pit stop. Still has that, and to be fair, he currently, as it looks, he looks like the best car on circuit to take the lead, considering his teammate has the time penalty. Anyway, we're going to see what happens here. So Martin Thorpe not running very quickly. They got one bit of contact already before they even make it to McLean. Still running side by side, and the McLaren just turns into him. Yeah, the McLaren's forgotten he's there, turned into him, and then they're just kind of taken on a nice holiday to the gravel trap. So it's yeah, just a little bit awkward there for Terrell Hubbard. That is, yeah, it's just awkward. As we see Martin Ford making his way into the pit lane, both of the consecutive cars choose to come in at the same time. We'll have to see how they filter out back on circuit. Anyway, we come to Christian Buckley putting a Jad Ubul under pressure in the Fear Nothing Motorsports McLaren. This is about fourth position, as the top three hasn't really changed too much after the pit stop. Grigori Ivanov surely has a massive margin with no penalty. Drive through the track limits, car 22. So that is Ben Brown currently running in well, as it stands, fourth position. We'll have to see how it stands after it would have stood after the pit stops, but just track limits is yeah, what has caused Ben to be caught out, and that is not good. So I assume he just takes too much of the inside curbing.
Yeah, that's what does it. That's what gave him the drive-through, sadly. And then he's got a bit of an optimistic read from the F&M McLaren up the inside. He gives some space, and then suddenly doink.
Yeah, a little bit of a hello, I am here. Yeah,
bit of a love tap.
Well, actually, I think he's come out ahead of Martin Ford, but Alex Shahabi there as well. So that would have been well, really positive for him. Drive through for track limits as well, car 90. So I think that is Daniel Tomlinson. So, oh, not good for the oNiD guys, as Tomlinson, yeah, also has a drive-through. So suddenly, obviously, track limits, you wouldn't think it'd be an issue here because all the grass around the outside, but it is. Anyway, Alex Jahabi doesn't need to fight that hard. Ben Brown has the drive-through penalty, Alex. Just stay calm and he'll move out of the way at some point. But I suppose he wants to get through so he can start hunting down his teammate of Martin Ford, who currently runs second. Theo Hoffman's in a very nice position, just going through the S's up the road there. Currently leads the field. So this, for his first win of the season, would be nice for him. It's currently been the bit of the Chick Hicks to Alex Shahabi here, because he's been just finishing in second position out of the first two rounds. So it'll be nice for him to, well, if he can hold on, keep this win, as he's going to try and keep it for another 37 minutes.
Yep, absolutely. However, oh, yellow flag again. Terrell Hubbard.
As he and to add salt to the wounds, he's just received a 5-second penalty.
Oh, of course he has. Ben Brown into the pit. Out of... Oh, that's a drive-through. Ignore me. I thought it was... yeah, he's doing a drive-through. Me thinking, he's pitting the outside pit window. No. It's a drive-through.
So he's going to exit the pit lane now. Let's see whereabouts he comes out. That's his drive-through cleared. Drive-through cleared for him, and drive-through for track limits car 90. But I believe that's already come up.
Has serving as a reminder as he crosses the line that he still needs to do it. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm sure he'll serve it in due course.
The commentator in game is getting very excited about something, but we'll just ignore him for now. As Daniel Thompson, yeah, still has his drive-through to serve, and I think Ben Brown hasn't suffered too badly. Come out ahead of Aidan Hoke, so he's actually currently I think he only lost the position to Alex Shahabi there, so
yeah,
not the end of the world, but it has sadly, it looks like his streak of third position finishes is about to be broken. But I mean, still 36 minutes to go in this one, and that is, well, normally we'd see our pit window at the 30-minute mark for the halfway stage of this race. So I mean, absolutely anything can happen still in this one, as Aidan Oak is actually putting Brown under a little bit of pressure. But yeah, no, I mean, track limits, it's going to be interesting to see how that all works out, because it's only, well, we've still got 36 minutes to go, so I assume a lot of other drivers are quite close to the limit as well. So we're going to have to see how that all works out as well within this one. And yeah, I think these aren't going to be the only drive-through penalties we see in this one. I assume there'll be a lot more.
Yeah, I would think so as well. Track limit's always an issue here. Jonathan Palmer had some fancy sensors installed at some of these corners to try and stop people running wide and ruining his lawn here at Donington Park. So no doubt, I'm sure drivers will be exploring those limits here this evening, and indeed, as we've seen, being penalised for it.
Yeah, I'm sure Jonathan Palmer will be absolutely fuming that his grass is being ripped up at the moment, as we see, well, I think that it's one of the Fry guys' cars. Who's running up ahead of him? It's one of the cars. So I think that is Matt High, who's just been held up a little bit by the GT4s there. So that's gonna have dropped him back from the cars, and that's Formato. Part of the team's championship leaders is off on the inside of Coppice.
Let's see how that happened. I have a feeling a back marker was involved. Car 55, Alex Shahibi.
Oh my goodness, so it's the team champions in both classes coming together. So let's have a look. Currently the GT4 is having a fight. Alex, he goes down the inside of Alex. He goes through and he tries to fit into a gap that isn't really there. And that's, it's a little bit of an awkward incident.
It was. Maybe a bit of patience may have been a bit more useful in hindsight. Not a great place to try and unlap a car up a blind right-hander, but does survive to live another day.
Yes, he does indeed. And well, he's now going to have to try and be a little bit wiser to try and overtake these guys. They're currently now running, well, with 3 of them all together. One of them, I believe, is actually a lap down from that battle, but it's still going to be a little bit of an issue just trying to get past 3 GT4s compared to the 2 that he was going to overtake. Anyway, he now is going to come up behind one of the Apex driving school cars. It's not Aiden Oak. I believe it is the second of the pair. I think Rayshawn Thompson, if I'm not mistaken. As now he has to, well, Dree try and do this move through Coppice. Don't go to the inside. Yeah, he does it. He's learned from his errors last time. And now running down the back start finish straight here as we run on board with them, has made his way on through. And can the slipstream be used by Alex Shahabi here to have some sort of opportunity? No, he is too far back this time. So now as they run through the S's, is right tucked in behind his teammate. Can he make his way through? As Mine 4 is, well, they're running together. And Alex is going to look to the outside, maybe perform a switchback to try and get a tire exit to get that better run on the inside. But again, hasn't really been able to make his way through, as now they head him to the final corner. And Thorpe again tucks the car to the inside and will hold on to second position. As for the meantime, they're currently 10 seconds back from Thiago Hoffman. So Hoffman's having an amazing race in this class, as now they let Lippo Zenchik through in the McLaren. And actually he's gone wide, and that's presented an easy opportunity to Alex Shahabi, to his teammate. I'm not sure if that was team orders or just a mistake from Martin Thorpe. And well, there you go. Second position to Alex Shahabi there, and well, still podium, nothing to sniff at for Martin Thorpe.
No, absolutely. That battle for second and third, I'm sure, will erupt again at some point. Bit of traffic wanting to come through. I clicked a wrong car. Oh, where is he? Oh,
and that's Formato again, and there goes Lippo Zenchik. There goes just Hubbard come through. Oh, he's made contact. Someone's hit him as well.
Thorpe's off.
Oh, Thorpe's off. That is, so team championship leader is off. And well, that was I said the podium's nothing to sniff at, but oh my goodness. Well, no, it's something to sniff at. I don't know what the saying is, but oh my goodness, he's off the circuit, and I assume that is going to have thrown away his podium position, and that is gutting for Martin Thorpe. Running with his teammate, looking safe, and look, there's a little bit of contact there between Alex Chabi and one of the McLarens running up ahead. We run on board with him, and I assume there's going to be a GT3. Yeah, there it is. Is there another one? There he is.
Unsighted.
He's blindsided, yeah.
Completely unsighted. That is gutting.
And penalties for car 55 as well, so that's... I can't see... Oh, that's... second position, Alex Shahabi. It's all falling apart for Consexus Motorsports. It's gone down the drain for the pair of them. They have been so dominant in this GT4 Teams Championship. But oh my goodness, the man that has won every single round so far in the GT4 standings is now going to find himself dropped down the order.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's not going to be good for these guys. They're going to absolutely be hurting right now. One of them being, completely blindsided. Didn't see the spun car ahead of him because he'd just been lapped by the Fry Guys Motorsport car and just got clipped by the stationary car of the F&M Motorsport Honda, and now the penalty for Shahibi as well.
Yeah, only 17 points separate Alex Shahabi and Thiago Hoffmans in the Drivers' Championship in GT4. So this is a great opportunity for Thiago Hoffmans to, well, create a massive day in that championship lead. We'll have to see whereabouts Alex Shahabi comes out. He's currently 10 seconds ahead of his teammate, and Ben Brown is only 16 seconds back as well. So Brown is going to be close after Alex Shahabi serves that stop. Anyway, we come back to this battle between Luke Sherlock and Daniel Tomlinson. This is currently for 7th position in the GT4 standings as they let past on the Apex Driving School McLaren. And, well, can Tomlinson make his way through? Oh, I'm mistaken. It's for 6th position in the GT4 standings. Going to the outside then anyway. Daniel Tomlinson, he's thinking about it. May try to get the tyre exit on the exit of the corner to get up the inside of Luke Sherlock. And, well, not able to produce anything there. And as they now head into the final corner, will the Genetic dive at the last minute? No, it won't. Runs a little bit deeper, but it's not able to take advantage of the move yet. So as he continues on in this one, he's not able to really take advantage. And actually, Daniel Thompson has a 5-second penalty to serve. So to be fair to Luke Sherlock, he could just let him through. Stay within those 5 seconds, and he'd have to position it anyway. So it's got a way up if it's worth fighting this one. Anyway, kicking up a little bit of dirt on the exit of the first corner is Daniel Tomlinson as they now come down the hill into the old hairpin. Will Tomlinson get a decent run out of here to try anything up towards Coppice? No, he actually runs a little bit wide onto the grass, and that's going to let Luke Sherlock really let that raw power of the AMG up the hill get away ever so slightly, but into the brakes. And again, the Ginetta taking that tyre line has now compared. The AMG takes a little bit of a wider line, and that's going to go going to the outside. Goes Daniel Tomlinson at Coppice. That'll be a brave move. He's not been able to put it off as the Jet comes in to land in the background there, and it looks like it could be an opportunity into the Estes. It'll be a brave move if Daniel Tomlinson tries it. He's looking to the outside into the Estes. That would give him the inside to the second part, but he's not able to make the move done. That's put the AMG offline, and you can see the race leaders coming through in the background here. So this is, well, one of the pros is going to make it through. Mount High is going to be a little bit too far back to get the move done. So he's actually going to be held up by these guys. So that's not going to be good in his battle in the podium positions, as he now finally makes his way on through. So a little cameo from those guys. And, well, these two still stuck together, but Luke Sherlock just about holding on.
Indeed he is. A battle that is happening 4th and 5th in the GT3 class. Buckley's catching up. Actually, what I'm going to do is turn a bit of attention to 7th, 8th and 9th. They are all very much in the same piece of track. There's Fragos Motorsport with Fear Nothing Moto, FNM, and a Racing Stronger car there. All 3 GT3s fighting for position. And actually, this has been going on for a few laps now. It's been popping up on my radar a couple of times.
And this could be an opportunity heading into turn 1. David Grains is right tucked behind John Lloyd here, and he's may leave it until the last minute to tuck out. He doesn't, as there's GT4 there. But Payenek actually has been held up by the GT4 traffic there. And he's actually, as they now come down the hill, is going to be held up down the craners. So it looks like this freeway battle for now is just going to turn into a 2-way one. John Lloyd is holding on, but Grains gets a nice run as they head up the hill. This is important for John Lloyd to keep David Grains behind, because the fellow Sister Fry Guys team will want to take every point advantage as they can. So if John Lloyd can hold on, that means less points for David Grains. As anyways, they come up towards Coppice. Actually, that's a bad run, and actually that's going to put David Grains under a little bit of pressure, maybe from Per Jelinek. Actually, no, I take that back, because Jelinek is a little bit too far back, but it brings that little bit of a defensive braking mover mid-corner from John Lloyd. Actually has put Per Jelinek right back in this battle, and that is what he wants. He needs to have someone putting David Grains under a little bit of pressure, and that is what Per Jelinek will do. Anyway, we come back to this battle between Christian Buckley and Timothy Jabdal, and it's the exact same sort of issue in this battle as well. For his sister team, Jabdul will need to keep the Aston Martin behind him.
Quick replay as notarized contact between these two guys. They go into the hairpin. Oh! Very lucky that wasn't more of a spin. Definite contact there between the two drivers. But they do get away with it. And do continue, but that's going to be noted by the stewards.
I assume it will be. We'll have to see what comes out of that. Also worth mentioning as well, Nick Manders having a really impressive race here and isn't too far back from that battle either. Anyway, we come back to this fight between David Grains, Petr Jelinek and John Lloyd leading the way as they now start their incline up the hill. And David Grains is really all over the back of John Lloyd. John Lloyd doing a really good job of defending, and I'm sure the sister team will really appreciate this one. And if Petr Jelinek can get past that, we'll appreciate it even more, because technically both teams under the oNiD family of teams. We'll have to...
Weaving, trying to throw the BMW off there is car 230, car 86, Christian Buckley P5 in GT3 class. 10-second penalty for Christian Buckley.
I'll have a look at what that's for, but that's disastrous for them. They needed to take all the points they could from F&M on a bad week, a bad race day, and that is going to be not good for them. I'll just have a look on my system to see what that was for.
Yep, absolutely. P5 at the minute is Christian chasing down Jadable F&M for P4. Only half a second between those guys. And that is also a battle in GT3 we're going to keep an eye on. There is a battle in the GT4 class between Tomlinson and Sherlock. They're still fighting away, the Ginetta and the Mercedes-Benz. And we're going to quickly jump to them. They're going to be side by side up the hill into Coppice.
There's a little bit of contact between the pair of them, and it looks like Daniel Tomlinson was just pushed off pushed away from making that move, but he's still right up behind him into Coppice. But again, the issue is he seems to have a good exit out of here every time, but the issue is it's into the S's. He can't run side by side into the S's because, well, 2 into 1 just doesn't go.
Absolutely, everything's still staying reasonably close between everyone else as it stands.
So Christian Buckley's penalty for the 86 car was for a bit of contact with the 536 car. So actually it was for that instant we had the replay of a minute ago where they just ran it into the back of one another. So he has been penalised for that after he has made the move though. So he has actually made the move, has Christian Buckley. But the issue is now he has 10 seconds to clear. Anyway, the McLaren has actually a little bit of a cheeky move. Look up the inside. The McLaren's had a really good run out of this final corner, but isn't able to take advantage of it there. And the issue is actually for Jad Ubul is that he's now under pressure from Nick Manners. Anyway, going around the outside is attempting David Grains, but the issue is he's not able to get the move done, and now that puts him under pressure from a very quick Petr Jelinek. And so they run down the starting straight. We look to the back. David Grains looks to the inside. Isn't able to get anything done. But looking around the outside. Oh my goodness, what is happening here? It is around the outside for Christian Buckley on Jadu Bull. This is a 5th position. Oh my goodness, there's cars everywhere. They're all being respectful to one another for now. But actually, this could be a bad moment for Jadu Bull. But actually, it turns all right for him. Because he's being blocked by the GT4s. He's trying to get up the inside of Daniel Tomlinson. Tomlinson doesn't give him room. And through goes Nick Manders.
Indeed, that's a battle. Ryan Sherlock and Daniel Tomlinson and Luke Sherlock GT4 battle. So these guys are fighting away whilst these guys are trying to fight and unlap themselves. Drive through for track limits 227. That's McLeod F&M in their P11. Oh, we can breathe now.
Yeah, we can.
Meanwhile...
No, we can't breathe.
We can't breathe. Jetlag is always having to move off of David Grains, which would have been quite hilarious, and David Grains still trying to get past John Lloyd as well. I don't know where to look.
It's all come together in this final 21 minutes of the race. Anyway, we come back to this battle between Daniel Tomlinson and Lucas Sherlock. That's it. I had a head blank there. As they're both running very close together in the background, you can see the GT3 battle as well. So these guys are going to come together. It's a massive sideways moment for Daniel Tomlinson. And he's kept it. He's just about gathered it all together. as they now run down the crane of cars now into the old hairpin, and it's why he's going to have to try something on Coppers. Anyway, we come back to David Grains, who's putting John Lloyd under a mountain full of pressure, but John Lloyd is a man that can withstand pressure, and he's doing so brilliantly. But actually, David Grains may have the inside line coming up into Coppers, squeezes him and closes the door, does John Lloyd, and he's just about going to hold on, and now the two battles we're watching on screen together. Anyway, so John Lloyd and is going to go for the inside into Coppers, but he's had to brake check there with Grains. That's stopped Grains, and that's going to give an opportunity to Per Jelinek as they now come down the back straight. And oh, this could be interesting into the S's. I think John Lloyd is actually going to get maybe some breathing room, or is Per Jelinek going to lose out again? Oh no, poor Per Jelinek has lost out again.
GT4 leaders off.
No, my goodness, Thiago Hoffmans, that was what he needed to keep this race good because of the penalty for Alex Shahabi. But oh my goodness, he drops down the order in the GT4s. I think actually that might have been only that was Alex who went past him. I don't know if it was Martin Thorpe as well.
It's just Alex. Alex got 10 seconds, so if Thiago Hoffmans can keep it within 10 seconds of Shahabi, is fine. But a heart-stopping moment for the 163. Let's see what happens. Is there lapping GT3 involved?
I assume it is. And this could be disastrous for whoever's in that Fear Nothing Motorsports. Oh. And yeah, it just runs straight in the back of him. Doesn't expect the GT4 McLaren to brake there. And oh dearie me. That's not what you want when you're leading in the GT4 standings. But luckily his team, Alex Shahabi, seems to be engulfed by GT3s up ahead, so he might be able to stay within those 10 seconds. Anyway, speaking of GT3s, we come back to this battle, which is absolutely insane at the moment. These guys have really been taking chunks out of one another for, well, probably the last 12 minutes at this point, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. But actually saying that, David Grains looking to the inside. David, don't do it there, David. It's the S's. You're not going to go too wide into here, and he smartly decides against it. And well, that actually has put him off a little bit offline through there, so that's going to give an opportunity maybe to Per Jelinek to close in on his back. It's going to give him an opportunity to go for the overtake. He looks to the inside, now goes to the outside. Per Jelinek in the racing stronger Aston Martin is really putting David Grains under pressure, and David Grains used to have already made contact once in this race. Let's hope they don't make contact again, because well, these two were originally battling for third position, so this is a lot lower down the order than they would have wanted.
It's now become a four-way battle. Oliver Noah's getting involved in P10, the 10th, 9th, 8th and 7th, all within 1.5 seconds of each other. Penalty 227. That's McLeod, I presume it would have been for the contact there with the lead GT4 car, quite potentially, as
it looks like John Lloyd's under pressure. It looks like David Grains is going to run outside. One of the genetics is off of the circuit, trying to get out of the way of these GT3 cars. And oh, I hope there wasn't any contact between any of them there. But actually now we see one of Luke Orr cars in this battle as well. I think that might be Grigory Ivanov coming to lap these guys. And oh my goodness, this is or it could even be the PS UK Ferrari. I haven't got a decent look at the car. But John Lloyd is under a lot of pressure as they come down this train. He really is the head of a train here, because look at that. It is like a NASCAR bump draft.
It's the leader. It's Grigory Ivanov in the background of Ferrari.
Okay. This is going to get stressful then, because this is a really fearsome battle with cars in the same class he's got to fight with. Anyway, David Grains looking to the inside. Now goes out to the outside. We'll try and get the switch back into the hairpin. Sitting on the inside of the corner is John Lloyd, and he's been very respectful there. He could have just pushed him off the circuit there, but he hasn't. And this could be an opportunity for David Grains down the inside. He's thinking about it. He's squeezed to the inside, and the door is closed. That's going to give Per Jelinek an opportunity around the outside. There's the race leader involved in this battle now. And these guys are still, oh my goodness, they're so close to one another. And David, now into the first corner again. David Grains thinks about the inside, but this battle's just going to cool off a little bit again now. But Per Jelinek back in this one. He needs to try and find a space where he can let leader through without causing too much time loss to himself. Anyway, we come down the hill now. David Grains still trying to find any way through, because he knows he can get past. He knows he's so much quicker, but oh my goodness, this must be one of the best defensive drives I've ever seen from John Lloyd, because he has positioned that car to absolute perfection here. There's been no room for David Grains to take advantage, and well, it's just been a superb drive for now, touch wood, from John Lloyd, and he's doing everything.
He's got the wide!
He's gone off his last sticks! He's throwing it off to the inside of Coppis. That is the definition of the Cortez curse. And he falls behind Petyanek, and he falls behind Oliver Knowles. And I feel really bad.
Let's try and get a replay of that. We'll jump on board with him, just see if he confirms our suspicions. He might have just got a bit too eager with his right foot. And the curb might not have helped either. And indeed it is, turns into a drift. Saves it, but that's battle over.
I think we should stop talking.
Yeah, jinxed him indeed. Lloyd, the brick wall is no more. He has fallen. He has caved to the pressure. And that has released David Grains to get ahead of the other two cars.
I can't speak highly enough of John Lloyd through that section though. That section of the race was absolutely perfect driving from him up until that point, defending, and yeah, really, I think really did his fellow Fry Guys sister team a really big favour there. It's just Petyanek or Oliver Knowles weren't able to take advantage of it, and I think David Grains will just have the superior pace now to get ahead, stay ahead of him. Actually saying that though, it's actually been held up quite a bit around this section of the circuit, so this battle turns back on as we see Andy King, and now we come back to Petyanek, and this could be actually
so much traffic.
Yes, so much traffic, and race leader is right behind him. Oh no, he's been held up. Oh god, oh my goodness, a bit of a domino effect between them. Not the first time we've seen that with GT3 cars at this race. It happened in a GT Cup a few years ago down at the old hairpin. Was a very big meme at the time. Anyway, runs very wide to Oliver Knowles, and that's going to give John Lloyd actually a position back. So not the end of the world yet for John Lloyd. He's still able to fight with these guys, but Oliver Knowles closes the door right on the braking zone. Lucky the BMW didn't make contact to his rear there, and they all continue on as yeah, the traffic raging havoc at the moment.
It is indeed. I am to go back down to Daniel Tomlinson, Luke Sherlock. There has been a change, or we have missed it sadly. Daniel Tomlinson did eventually make his way past the Mercedes of Luke Sherlock. So that's been a change of position there. That was a fight. That battle was going for was ongoing for quite a long while, and now, dare I say, things have calmed down.
I can breathe.
For now.
For now. In a minute, Gregory Ivanov will be off the circuit somewhere.
We shall see. David Grains has been notarized in some form of contact, potentially with Martin Thorpe, lapping cars. Let's have a look. See if we can get a quick replay of that.
So, running up behind Gregory Ivanov. Ivanov, I assume, makes it through on the inside of, yeah, here, and now as they head up towards the exit of McLean's, and again, just a little bit of, I assume, a little bit of a tyre tap between the pair of them there, just, it was a little bit needless, a little bit clumsy there by David Grains. Could have been a much easier move. Anyway, around the outside goes over Knowles and Petyanek, yeah, Knowles and Jelinek, oh, I don't know how this has happened, even was one of the higher qualifiers, but Oliver Knowles obviously has the pace to fight with him as they now head down the main straight into turn one. If we come onto the roaring Porsche here, these cars absolutely, well, they were deafening in the generation before this. They're still deafening now as we ride on board with him. I can hardly hear myself as we head down the Craner curves, and they're still right with one another into the braking zone. Takes a lot more curb into this part of the circuit does Oliver Knowles, but Petyanek has actually had a better run now. That section has opened the gap up quite considerably.
I think he lives to fight another day. Obviously had a bad final sector to allow the Porsche to even contemplate making a move around the outside of the final turn. But 11 minutes to go, it's all still to play for. The track, however, has remained dry all race. There was rain threatening, yeah. We had rain in qualifying, but apart from that, it has stayed absolutely bone dry.
Well, actually, I think it's actually probably been to our advantage here. Normally, with racing, you wish for wet weather, but I think today the dry circuit has really been the perfect conditions to create some of the most epic racing we've seen. And well, it's going to continue on now because Petty has run wide again, and Oliver Knowles finds himself right back on the bumper of the racing stronger Aston Martin here. Also, very worth mentioning is we have the timing screen up, is Hoffman's still within 10 seconds of Shahabi, so that's good for him and means that he's still next in the lead of the GT4 class. So good, that's still a good result on the board for him, even after that issue with a GT3 competitor. And well, that's not good for Gregory Prescott because he's had an issue at the S's.
Let's see how that happened, shall we? Quick cheeky replay. Is it all by himself? Was he encouraged? No, that was himself, and he just goes deep.
Yeah, I mean, you see it in real life as well. Drivers just pushing a little bit too much into the S's and then having to decide to take the guard trap. And oh, there's been an issue with Oliver Knowles. Oliver Knowles has stopped on the circuit. The person that was fighting for P8, what has gone on there? Has that been a weird issue? It looked like an alt delete sort of moment there, and I don't know what's gone on with him. The car doesn't look too damaged. No, it looks fine. What's happened to Oliver Knowles? I assume he's had some sort of rig issue.
About to find out. This pulls off to the side. I think that's a real life issue.
Yeah, look, he's just not got any power. He's, at this point, he just looks like he's rolling, and has then decided to stop. So has there been some sort of accelerated pedal disconnect, maybe, that he's had to quickly fix?
I might be getting some insider information. Ryan Davis, his stream deck fell out of his mount and hit the ignition button.
Oh, so it turned the engine off?
Possibly. I'm not sure if that's a joke or if that's actually legit.
I mean, that is really unfortunate.
If it's true, it's extremely unfortunate. Loses 2 positions, goes down to 10th, and Prototypo Racing and Oliver have lost out on some really valuable points there. Yeah,
sadly for those guys, as well. Actually, he hasn't dropped too much though, because he could have. I think he's only actually lost out in the end to John Lloyd, because King is actually the next car behind him, but it actually isn't too far back now. Only 3 seconds separates the pair of them, but that's going to be a tough order to try and catch him up with 7 minutes and 50 seconds to go in this one.
Ryan Davis in chat. Yeah, engine went off. It was dangling by his cable for his stream deck. Legit in chat with him. So he's showing a voice channel discussing the race and driving. Stuck in the wrong map mode now as well. Oh no! So his engine is in the wrong engine map.
That is really unfortunate.
Yeah, you can see he's struggling, not getting the drive out the corner.
Yeah, and you can see that 3-second gap that separated him and King.
He's going slow again.
Yeah, he's
He's lost 2 more positions. He's struggling.
Actually, I think that's a lap car potentially, or a car and lap it itself, because he hasn't got neither of the NSXs running near him. So I think that's only down to 11th.
Only down to 11th, yeah.
McLeod's 17 seconds back with a 10-second penalty. So we'll have to see how that works itself out, if he can catch rapidly enough. Anyway, Jad Ubal is currently having a fight again with Nick Manders, who well, these guys have been together for a while now, and a little bit of a nudge there for the GT3 McLaren. The GT4 telling him, "You're going too slowly for me, please get out of my way." And he has proceeded to do so once he's been able to step on the accelerator. But these guys, a little bit of a gap between them for now. Nick Manders dispatching the traffic a lot quicker. This Ginetta may help him yet again, as we come to Ben Brown, who's in a fight for 3rd position with Martin Thorpe. So Ben Brown's streak of 3rd positions could continue.
But Martin Thorpe still getting the damage from when he was blindsided, and just a passenger from that spun F&M car earlier on in the race has not pitted with damage, has elected to keep going to see if he can nurse it home in the podium positions. However, It's not quite worked out for him. He's got Ben Brown charging down him as a GT3 car forcing their way up the inside of the final turn. Ben Brown giving him room to do so. But that Connectors Motorsport car of Martin Thorpe has seen better days and is hanging on for dear life.
It is so, and well, he's now got a very quick GT3 up behind him. Luckily, gets out of the way very quickly. It hasn't cost him too much. We have a replay.
Thorpe apparently got some more damage just now, so he did actually pit for the damage, but was given more damage, and
Is that the race leader?
That was the race leader. Oh!
He's just ran the race leader. That's the only way of putting it, really. He's going straight to the back of the race leader, and oh gosh, dearie me, it looks like the team championship leaders can't stay out. Actually, well, no, not the team championship leaders. It just looks like the people at the front of their classes can't stay out the way of each other. Anyway, coming down the back straight now, we have Ben Brown putting on Mike Thorpe under pressure, but is not close enough. And again, it's into the S's. He just needs to make sure he gets a decent run out of this section to try and then put him under a lot of pressure into the Melbourne hairpin, which he might be able to do. He's quite close, but I don't think he's close enough. He's looking at the outside. He does come alongside, but I don't think he's going to have the momentum to send it around the outside area. He's not. So Brown not able to make it through. It has only 4 minutes, 4 seconds now to try and get that move done. He's going to look to the inside, decides against it, goes back to the racing line. Is not able to do anything. Just need to try and get a decent run, maybe onto the start finish straight to try something into turn 1. But again, it isn't really close enough to do anything. So I think his next opportunity is probably going to be up towards Coppis, unless he swings some sort of surprise attack here, which he does not.
No, he doesn't. He stays put. You can't do anything here. You'll have to be patient. I think with him having the damage, it's going to be a matter of not if, but when. But can't do anything. Oh, that's a moment from the Mercedes.
Actually, I think it kind of helped him, though, because it seemed to help him carry more momentum through the section of the circuit. So he hasn't actually fallen too far back, even though he went all 4 wheels off of the circuit. Ben Brown already has exceeded too many of the track limits and did receive a penalty earlier in the race for that. As still running up behind him, Ben Brown actually gets a nice run through Coppis, but again, it's going to be up towards the S's, which, I mean, he'd need to get the car really alongside to try and do something here. And that Paul McLaren has been truly sandwiched and just slices himself between that very tight gap. Could have been a lot worse there. So Ben actually finds himself in a decent spot. This is going to be an opportunity here. He looks to the outside. Probably should have switched back to the inside, because I think Thorpe's going to be able to just push him a little bit out wider and keep the position. Thorpe on the brakes, runs it deep. Actually, Brown's going to try for the switchback. Brown's going to get the switchback. They're still side by side as they come up towards the final section of the circuit. This is for a podium in the GT4 standings. So as Ben Brown goes to the outside, Thorpe runs deep again, is able to hold the car on the inside of the corner, but Ben Brown has the momentum. So as they run onto the start finish straight, the Mercedes is right tucked in behind the Aston Martin. Could this be an opportunity into someone? We ride on board from the rear wing of Martin Thorpe. And again, so contact of each other is the touring car bump maneuver. As they run around the corner, hasn't made a move though. Drug through for track limits, Luke Sherlock.
Oh, Luke Sherlock, car 119. Bad to worse for him. Was fighting away with Daniel Thomason in the Janetta, but now has to serve a drive-through before the end of the race. Otherwise, it's a very hefty. I think it's 60-second penalty or something ridiculous, really. So he may as well just take the drive-through and swallow his pride, and indeed he does. We'll go back to the battle for P3 of GT4. The GT3 class looks to be relatively set. They're reasonably spread out. No one's really making gains or is near to each other. So I think, from what you see on your screens from the top for Gregor Ivanov, Kurbanov, it'll be a 1-2 for the two Ferraris, teammates as well. Getting very valuable points there, and we'll stick with this battle for the final podium position in GT4.
And to the outside goes Ben Brown, and he's going to think about it. He's there. I don't know why he keeps trying to go to the outside, though. He just keeps running out of momentum. He really needs to try and force that inside move. because again actually might be alongside. Actually, he's closer than I thought. I take it all back, Ben. As he now goes around the outside, he's going to try and switch back to the inside for the start finish straight, but again isn't close enough to get alongside to Martin Thorpe. So it's with 35 seconds now to go in this race. Ben Brown is just not close enough. He goes to the inside. There might have been a little bit of contact again. He's really going for those touring car bumps into that corner, and now they run up towards down the hill up towards the old hairpin, and we'll have to see what they do here. Ben Brown is close. He's here. Oh, he's nearly him. He's so close. There must have been an ants gap between them. And well, now as they come up towards Coppice, Ben Brown on the grass. Ben Brown alongside. Ben Brown rally crossing along the circuit here. It's going to be alongside as they head into Coppice. He's squeezed to the inside by Martin Thorpe, who holds on to the position, and Ben Brown is running out of time to get this move done as they now head up towards Coppice. That is the race leader on the final lap, so they need to try not to get laps by him to ensure they get one more lap at this. But Gregory Ivanov, we haven't had to speak about him because he's been so very consistent in this one, because we haven't had to see him, and it's a great result for Lukeoil Esports. Anyway, we come back to this one, and these guys are still fighting, but this time Ben Brown held it up into the S's and stopped him mounting an attack into the Melbourne hairpin. Unless he tries something now, he looks to the inside. Thorpe runs wide. Brown is on the inside line. He's going to be able to get the power on a little bit too earlier.
Right, leader is these guys won't be lapped, so we'll have one more racing lap. There is a GT3 making their way past. Can Ben capitalise? Ben's got the inside line.
He does, but he's got to let the GT3 get power. He leads on Martin Thorpe as they now run down the start finish straight. Can Ben Brown get the move done into turn one? He's going to have to try and go around the outside. He's on the brakes now. He turns in. Squeezes Thorpe to the inside, runs a little bit wide. Thorpe's going to get on the power a little bit earlier. They're still side by side as they run down the hill. Nothing separates these two. This is for the final podium position in GT4. Brown is through. Brown has got the position done on the final lap of this race, and he's into GT4 podium positions in third position for the third race in a row. And has it been contacted? But I believe Gregory Ivanov has won round 3 of the oNiD X QRT multi-class Team Cup. Congratulations to him. And it's a 1-2, but great weekend for Lukeoil Racing after 2 rough weekends. Elmar Kurbanov finishes in second position as well, and now we just wait for Matt Hyde to finish the podium. There he is across the line now. Matt Hyde to finish it, and Alex Shabby in the GT4 class win, or actually might not win, because we've got to wait for Thiago Hoffmans to exit the final corner to wherever he is. And this battle continues. Ben Brown actually is being put under pressure from Martin Thorpe. Martin Thorpe might have an opportunity into the Melbourne hairpin. Isn't close enough as Jabdul is putting Nick Manders under a lot of pressure here. Will Martin Thorpe go for a move into the final corner as well? We'll have to wait and see what happens now as they head into the final corner. No, they're all too far back, so Ben Brown is going to hold on to the... No, he's gone wide. No, actually, no, he is going to hold on to the podium position in GT.
Indeed it does, and that is race over. Ben Brown bringing home P3. Taylor Hoppers, I can confirm, has...
Well, it's 3 out of 3.
Oh, are you there? I can confirm Taylor Hoffmans did take the win there for GT4 by 1.1 seconds. It did lose time during that kind of spin he had and contact that was made with the GT3 car. But that is that, folks. That is race absolutely done. And then as soon as the session finishes, it goes to a rain. It starts to rain. We didn't have any rain. Rain was forecast, but we were quite lucky to get a dry race in. I think we were treated quite thoroughly. Tom, are you back with me?
I need to lie down.
You need to lie. I need to lie down, mate. That was... I didn't know where to look at times. That was absolutely insane.
It was. That was unbelievable. Just racing all over the circuit. And it wasn't even at the front of the field. It was just in the mid-pack. But it was still just as interesting to watch. And, well, just a fantastic job by the field of competitors and by the organisers. That was such a great race.
33 seconds was the gap between first and second. Teammates 1 and 2. Fantastic race for Lukeoil Racing Team there and the 2 Ferraris. But yeah, wow.
Also, thank you
Yeah.
for the subscription, FNM Tyler.
Yes,
with
thank you
subscribing
very
this
much.
time.
Much appreciated. Thank you. I did hear it pop up in my ears. I just didn't quite see that it was who it was. So thank you. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Tom, next week, are you with me? Oh, I won't be here next week, sadly. I'm going to ask one of my wonderful commentary teams to take over from my position, as I'm going to be actually here at Donington in real life for marshalling. I will not be able to make it back in time for round 4 at Indianapolis. And I will be marshalling in real life for Convoy in the Park at Donington Park. So truck racing.
Yeah, truck racing. Oh, you'll go from commentating on truck racing on Monday to then
To actually doing
it.
to actually marshalling it. I will, and I cannot wait. Folks, it's been a pleasure. Tom, thank you very much for your time this evening.
No worries.
I will be back in 2 weeks' time. And Tom, I hope you have a fantastic week next week.
Yeah, I thank you. I hope it's as good as this week.
I'm sure it will be, folks. Speak to you soon. Have a wonderful week. We'll be back live tomorrow with Assetto Corsa truck racing. Myself and Dominic Baruch bringing you all the action. Take care. Have a good night.
Bye.